Big news this week. On Tuesday, Vice President Kamala Harris announced her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. First, what's your reaction?
They went with safe. I think that she made a calculated decision. Shapiro, there were a couple of narratives that were spinning out, right? You had the Fetterman situation where, Shapiro and Fetterman had this sort of long-standing feud. He went to her camp and said, Shapiro's going to try to overshadow you. This isn't the pick that you want. It can be difficult. So you had sort of that. And I think, there's been a couple of stories that have come out saying Kamala didn't want to worry about being overshadowed. She's going to be the presidential nominee. It shouldn't be about him. And then also, unfortunately, I think that there was an element to this where there was a concern that you could see a splinter within the Democratic Party if you picked Shapiro because he was Jewish. And that it would send a signal to the pro-Gaza Palestinian supporters where there was already sort of this rift that's just beneath the surface and have that erupt even further. And so I think that at the end of the day, she decided to go with someone who was perceived as being the safe choice, as someone who's not going to overshadow her, and as someone who will hopefully be a positive, not electorally necessarily, but certainly won't be a negative. That was the calculated decision.
What do you think, this says about the current state of the Democratic Party? Because you as a Democrat are saying, I think a reason he might not have been picked is because perhaps he was Jewish. Republicans are saying that too. So what does this say about Democrats? And do you think this is going to hurt them, not only with moderates and Republicans, but within their own party?
I think we have to sort of give it a week, 2 weeks, and see how the dust settles. Yesterday, I was speaking to a lot of people in the Democratic Party, big donors out of New York City, who were really upset, who said, I was excited about Kamala. I was all in for this. And I feel like they made this decision for one reason and one reason only, which was that Shapiro is Jewish. And that's the problem for me. And we are a big tent party. We try to lift up minorities, women, Jews, Muslims, everybody. We're the party of inclusion. And so whether it's true or not that that's why she made the decision, there is certainly this narrative out there. And I think that it is a problem for Democrats. So I think we need to give it a couple of weeks and see sort of how the dust settles going out of Labor Day. And then we'll have a real assessment of whether or not it's going to help or hurt.